All right, peace, y'all. Missing girls in DC. Big time trending topic. Something I wanted to cover because I have thoughts on this because it's not the first time that I've seen this surge of memes and things pop up talking about missing persons and how many people aren't around and people getting trafficked, organ donors, and things of this nature, right? But I wanted to add something in on this just for the simple fact that I think there's an element of this campaign that we're not considering. Now, I got to start this video by first of all saying every single missing person, even if it's one, two, whatever the case, that's something that's a very sensitive issue. And that's something we have to definitely put all of our energy around, especially with black folks, and especially with children. Female children or any type of children. So that's not, in no way is that the point of what I'm saying. And in no way am I saying that we should not have had this campaign. I like the strength of this campaign, and I think a majority of this campaign was grassroots, just black folks showing care and concern and sharing these things. So that I support that 100%. I titled it this way just to show one element of what is going on. Not to shoot down in any way and say that we should not have this campaign. So I just want it to be understood that in no way is that the point of what I'm saying. All right, what is the point of what I'm saying? We hear that I think it was 14 girls come up missing in the span of a week. Now I did Google searches. I was not able to find anything that verified that that was true. I got something from MPD here saying that it was not true. So I haven't been able to independently verify that amount of girls showed up missing in a shorter period of time. But that's not really the point. But that's just one thing I wanted to throw in. Also, too, one big thing that I have a bigger issue with is 64,000. I've seen a bunch of memes pop up saying 64,000 girls are missing. All right, so I wanted to show some things on this because when I seen that, it turned around so you guys can hear me. But when I seen that 64,000 girls were missing, and I keep seeing these memes coming up like 64,000, 64,000, 64,000. So I'm thinking to myself, because the first thing that pops up in my head, and I really have an issue, is when I look and it doesn't pop up in a lot of people's head, is I didn't believe it. And a lot of people, I'm hoping again, don't think that I'm not believing it because I don't want to say, hey, I don't care about the black women coming up missing or anything like that. The reason I don't believe it is because, I'm a 29-year-old black man. I've been a black man living in America all my life. I've lived here, I've lived in Alabama, and I've lived in Illinois. And for that large of an amount of people to pop up, that is a systematic issue. Okay, that's a systematic issue that would have to be in our culture to a point where we would know about it. You know that? You know what I mean? So, like, I want to bring up something real quick. So, I looked here. It was hard for me to find. Every time I look up black homicides and black people killed, I always get like black people killed by the police. But this is from 2005. And in 2005, there was a lot more homicides, a lot more deaths, right? So this here, it says blacks accounted for 49% of all homicide victims in 2005, right? It said black males accounted, and this is just males. There's other homicide victims, but I'm just making a point here. Black males accounted for 52%, or 68,000 of the male homicides 2005. What is my point? 68,000 people were killed in 2005. There was a lot of violence in 2005, right? Everyone pretty much knows and has been impacted by people being killed. We all know someone that has been killed. We all, like damn near most of the people I speak to have a personal friend of somebody, multiple people that have been killed. And that's only 68,000 in that year. 68,000 is 1/10 of the number 64,000. Okay? If you follow me. So that's 1/10 of that number. If 1/10 of 64,000 people get killed, and black on black crime, so-called, is as big of an issue that has impacted as many of us as much as it has, why is it that the 64,000, when 1/10 of the people getting killed can garner that much, 64,000 people coming up missing has not garnered enough of a personal impact on every individual person to say, hey, listen, I know somebody that came up missing, or I have someone that came up missing, or that, you know what I mean? Everyone should be able to identify that, but they're not, you know, and that raises a red flag to me, because I'm like, what is going on? Because the reason I say this is bad propaganda and this goes at the self-image of us is because when you look at something like that constantly popping up on your screen, see, a lot of we don't think about this. Something like that popping up on your screen, what does that make you feel about yourself? What does that make you feel about your people? Like, you have a lot of folks have made posts like, well, the black men, you got to protect the black women and you're not protecting us and da-da-da-da-da. That's just showing you how much the people are looking at you like there's something wrong with you. You're allowing 64,000 people to come up missing. But the thing is, I know from growing up being black that even it might not be your mother, your regular mother. It might not be your regular father. It may be your grandparents. It may be someone else. Black people do love their kids. And we do take care of our kids. And if somebody's kids came up missing, or someone comes up missing, kidnapped or something like that, it would be an issue of something that people would bring to people's attention. It wouldn't be just something that just gets shrugged off later to be found in a meme saying 64,000 people are missing. You know what I mean? So, you know, we care about our people more than 64,000 people to just come up missing and no one says anything. All right, so this led me to investigate that whole 64,000 people. Look at some of the stuff I looked at, right? First thing I do is I Googled 64,000 people missing, right? I come up with a News One article, right? And here's the News One. So a News One article says currently missing in the U.S., right? All right, but look at the date. That's from 3 years ago, okay? And then another article that I had seen, there was an article for Daily Mail, right? 64,000 black women missing across America as the country turns a blind eye. Look at the date on this again. That date is the 18th of January in 2012. So the 64,000 number has been basically running for, that's about 5 years. That same number has been running, right? And when I found that, I seen these old articles, so I'm like, okay, the 64,000 number has been running, and then I look and I go to see, okay, listen, we got 64,000 number. Where is the source of the 64,000 number? And there's blackandmissing.org, blackandmissing.org, which is a good organization. I guess it was started by a sister some years ago, just because she said, you know, when we go missing, not a lot of people cover it, you know, so she did this so we could get better coverage. Okay, here we go. All right, there we go. So that was the website, and this is also a website. These are some of the donors. And it's another thing, too, just to flip this. This Black and Missing Incorporated, or blackandmissing.org, has all of these are pretty much black sponsors. Ebony is not black. But TD Jakes, that's black. The Griot, I don't believe that's black. That's not black. This News One is black. Think this is black, but these are pretty much, I know that's black. These are black sponsors that do support this. So just keep in mind, you know, when people post 64,000 people missing memes and black, and you're not worrying about your community, or black people you got to watch, you don't care about your community. This is an organization that's been in place since 2008 with black people actually donating to it that does care. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, so I wanted to point that out. Right now, here we look from January the 1st to December 31st, okay, last year. A total of 242,000 minorities were reported to come up missing out of 647,000 total, okay? Now, they report, you can read right here, I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing, but right here it says the organization, they say when they speak on all minorities together. Okay, so they're putting in black people with the rest of the minorities when they're saying how many people are coming up missing. But you'll see in a second that the disparity as far as black people is still very high. But what is my point in showing you this? My point in showing you this is that 647,000 people came up missing last year. Okay, 647,000. So and if you look at this right here, you can see the white amount of people that came up missing was 60%. Now, it tells you here Hispanics are included in the white. Okay, and that's a whole nother video, how they play games with the word white and what white means and conveniently what it means. So I could have just said white people are missing at a larger rate, but I want to show you guys how these games are played and the different word games that are played. But the point I'm pointing out is we're not the only ones with people coming up missing, but ones where you constantly see memes, 64,000 missing, 64,000 missing. Why aren't you doing anything? How come no one cares about this? Black people, why don't you have your own search parties? Why don't you have people going out? Or do we not even care about our people? But the people coming up missing is a common thing that happens, right? All right, now, and again, for some of the people that jumped in here late, I am not against the campaign in no way. I think the campaign should exist. I'm just pointing out that if we don't understand the full context of this and we just read memes and we see these different things, it makes us look like horrible people because we don't understand what it is, where this information is even coming from. We don't understand how these things are coming about, and they're just coming across our timeline. We're taking everything we're reading and believing it, right? All right, so this is another article I wanted to show. All right, well, no, not this one from the Daily Mail. This is another article where it's talking about how many people you said, Neely said, do we have our own search parties? And as far as here locally, I'm not aware of any search parties that we have. I'm not aware of that. Personally, no, I don't know. Okay, now I cannot find my article. Okay, well, I'll just tell you guys. Here it is. So this article here, it talks about, so you have from the commander here saying that for the past 5 years, I'm reading here, for the past 5 years, we have had 19,000 missing persons cases, about, I think, 200 a month. 19,000 missing persons cases that were investigated, and only 16 of those are open. Okay, so that's a rate of 1% of these people that are recovered and are found, about 99% of the time, right? A lot of these cases are runaways. Of the, I believe there was 20. Now, I have not been able to verify personally for myself, and I'm a layman. I'm not a journalist. I don't have any special ways of looking. I just Google this stuff. All right, I just take it a step further and do some research and look into it. I have not been able to independently verify that I think it was 14 youth have popped up missing in the span of 7 days. I have not seen anywhere that I can independently verify that personally. Okay, now, but as in regard to that, those missing persons did exist, and those reports that you've seen were real. But the thing about it is that I believe 8 of the youth that were missing have been found. All right, and they've been found, and it's found that each one of them were runaways. You know, they weren't somewhere getting organs harvested from them, and they weren't being human trafficked. Okay, now, am I saying that these things do not exist? I am not saying that. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying to you, the reason I'm bringing this up is because what has happened, and again, I'm not speaking for everyone, but the way that is being presented on social media by a lot of people is that we don't care. We're just leaving our people to die and their organs to be harvested. No one is paying any attention to any of this, and 64,000 people have been just showed up missing, and that it's been the same 64,000 number over the past 5 years coming from the organization. Sorry about that. I had a phone call. Hopefully they don't call back. And the website that I just showed you, it's been the same 64,000 number, and it's making it look like something that it is not. Okay, so that's really all that I wanted to. That's all I wanted to really share. Don't let this thing be turned into something that it isn't. Understand, there are a lot of missing persons. 99% of them are recovered, and I do believe personally that some people, the organ harvesting thing does happen. I do believe personally that some people do go out into human trafficking. You know, especially some of these young women that run away, or people who run away. And we should pay a lot of attention, especially to youth and people coming up missing. But in closing, the point that I wanted to point out, all right, just understand the way some of these things work. Understand that when you see some of these memes coming up, 64,000 people missing, all right, How many of them haven't been recovered? Where's that statistic based on? Where did they even get it from? I just went over it with you guys where I got it from, the website. Just for just the last couple people that had just popped in here, blackandmissing.org, and they have the statistics on it. This is a 501c3 nonprofit organization backed up by some black companies, some other companies, but yeah, that's where that came from. It's years old, years and years and years on top of years old. So just understand where this stuff is coming from. Don't get so down and acting like black people just don't give a damn about their kids, because as I stated earlier in this video, in 2005, which had higher crime than now, in 2005 there was 6,800 black people were killed. And that was enough that anybody that lived in 2005, that's the year I graduated high school, that was enough that anybody that had someone killed was impacted by that culturally. We almost all know someone that was killed. So how is it that 64,000 have come up missing, never to be found, and we don't all know someone that has been that has come up missing? That it would take 10 times that amount of people killed in 2005 that it takes now for that amount to happen. So we not evil people that don't care about their kids. We can do better, but there's a lot of people up missing, and don't believe all these posts that you read, because they will cause a negative drop in self-image. You know what I mean? This is the total amount of people. White people are 64% of it. That does include Hispanics. We're not the only ones coming up missing, and we do care about our people. But I probably drugged this on a little. I hope I got my thing. Find Our Girls. Definitely look out for anyone, because one day, the missing person could be you. The missing person could be your kids. So anytime somebody's missing, definitely get on top of that. I support this campaign 100%, but just understand that don't let these memes kill your self-image, and don't let these memes turn something positive coming from positive energy into something negative that will impact you and have you looking at your people like we ain't nothing and we don't love each other, because we do. All right, man. Peace.